As more migrants gather at our border tonight, we're learning new details about where they'll be processed once they're on U.S. soil. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. This video right here, taken from our helicopter today, shows people lined up right along the U.S.-Mexico border waiting to claim asylum. This is ahead of the expiration of Title 42 next week. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe joins us live from the Otay Mesa Processing Center with the latest on the efforts to move and process migrants. Rocio, what have you seen down there so far?
Well, this is a temporary processing center here in Otay Mesa. As you mentioned, this is where a lot of the migrants that we're seeing arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border are taken to while they wait for their asylum claims to be processed. Now, we know this is not the only location that will be tasked with doing so. Earlier today, I spoke with an immigration rights advocate. He visits the border regularly, and he sees every day what these migrants are going to. He shared with me what he's seeing so far and what he expects to see in the coming days. Video shows hundreds of migrants currently lined up west of San Ysidro waiting to claim asylum and enter the U.S.
These are people who have been migrating for a long time, for a distance from their home countries. We have people that are not only from Central America, but from Afghanistan, from Uzbekistan, people from African countries that are seeking shelter.
Pedro Rios is an immigration rights advocate who travels to the border frequently. He speaks to many of the migrants and gets a sense of what their needs are.
And what they're confronting is hardship. The fact that they're being forced to stay in between border walls because there isn't an efficient process to pick them up means that they are staying without food, they're going hungry, they don't have a lot of water, and they won't have shelter.
Rio says he expects to see more migrants present themselves at ports of entry as the end of Title 42 approaches.
My hope is that Customs and Border Protection responds in a way that meets their basic humanitarian needs, while at the same time respecting the asylum process, which at this time, we don't see that commitment from the Biden administration.
President Biden is sending 1,500 troops to the southwestern border ahead of the expected surge. Once the pandemic-era policy is lifted, asylum claims will be processed under Title 8. But many immigration rights advocates believe it's the wrong approach to dealing with the crisis.
For me, does not resonate. It means that the Biden administration is not well prepared to administer people as they're making asylum claims.
Rios believes Title 8 will place more people in removal proceedings and they'll have a shorter amount of time to defend their cases against deportation.
It's concerning that there hasn't necessarily been an effective response by Border Patrol and by the Biden administration.
A spokesperson with Border Patrol says there is no single location responsible for processing migrants and that migrants will be processed at all stations within the San Diego sector. Now, when it comes to processing the migrants, there are a total of 7 border facility stations in the San Diego sector, plus the temporary station, which is where we're at now. Back to you.
Rocio, do you have any idea yet how big this really is? How many migrants do officials expect to enjoin that process and try to cross the border seeking asylum?
Well, the Department of Homeland Security is preparing for up to 13,000 migrants to cross the border per day once Title 42 expires, and that is expected and scheduled to take place next week on May 11th. Live from Otay Mesa, Rocio de la Fe, CBS 8.
We will be watching. Thanks, Rocio.